I feel so much love right now. Just love that you're here. It means so much. And as many of you know, this day for me looked quite a bit different several weeks ago, kind of how I envisioned it. But one thing I've learned in the last several weeks is I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm in the exact right place at the exact right time, and you guys are here at the exact right place at the exact right time. So I'm honored that you're here. Evolution to revolution, the triple X factor. That story also looks a little bit different to me in the last several weeks, but one thing I've learned when I'm trying to figure out what a topic is and how I can present it to someone, I'm more thinking about first what it's not. And revolution, everyone, is really not about fear. It's even more specifically not about fear of failure. You know, we as human beings really associate success to significance. We associate success to love. It's just an innate instinct that we have as humans, right? It's part of our safety. We all want to be loved. And if we start connecting success to love, no wonder we're freaking out half the time, right? I found that so much in human beings that their inability to really revolutionize their life comes from the fact of just this fear they have in their head. I was at an event in Denver a couple weeks ago, and Lindsey Vonn was there speaking, and for those of you that don't know, she's an acclaimed epic female skier, and she's won like, I think, 64 World Cups, and she's been to several Olympics and had several different medals, and she's now retired. And she's going on to this new journey in her life, and she's looking to start a makeup business next year. And one of the things she said during her talk was, I'm afraid I'm gonna fail. And everyone in the audience was kind of like, oh my gosh, you know, Lindsey Vonn, she's won like freaking 64 World Cups. How can that be? And I was like in the back, I'm like, yeah, makes sense. She's human, right? She wants to be accepted. She wants to be loved. So how can we break free from like this need of having success and believing that's significance and love? Because it's not truth. And what I have found, I've been so blessed, and some of you are in this room, I've been so blessed with connecting with amazing, epic, successful people. And what I have found is that they've learned this way of breaking free from fear, failure. They're just rocking it because they've understood it's not the same, that they can succeed or fail and still be loved, still have significance. So what is revolution? We'll get to that. Let's just break down how to really truly get rid of fear and what it means. That's a big, big deal. So one, failure truly, everyone, is performance in disguise. That's all it is. Performance is a time for us to fail and get up and fail and get up. We're meant as human beings to refine a craft, like find something we want to master, right? So if we can understand that and not see it as fear, but we're gonna fall down it and go back to the drawing board, right? I think of like Kobe Bryant, okay? And he talks about all the time that he goes back to his films and he sees where he screwed it up. And he's like, that's where I get the most power and that's how I grow. It's not failure, it's just me refining my craft. If we can actually get out of that failure mode and just know that's just part of the circus of performance and getting better at what we really do, we start really loving on ourselves because we're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better. You know, fear has no space. Lindsey Vonn, bringing her up again, I don't know if you guys remember, but she went through a period that she went to, I believe, the Ski Federation, and she said to them, you know, listen, I want to get better, but I want to compete with the guys. If you guys remember that. And it created this huge ruckus throughout the United States, and the men actually were like, yeah, dude, come on in. You know, we'll help you out. The women were like, are you kidding me? You think you're better than us? And I remember her saying, she's like, I felt so misunderstood because it wasn't about competition. It was about just performing, refining my gift. I just wanted to be better. It brought me power, it brought me love. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't, you know, connected to significance or love. The people that wanted me to perform and do well already loved me. okay? That's something to really think about, right? Refining your craft is all about getting down and getting back up, getting down and getting back up, right? Second, the power of the pineal gland. Do you guys know what the pineal gland is? Think of it, it's kind of an association to the third eye. Many of you might know where that's at. That's right here, okay? It's one of the chakras. It's kind of like the mothership. It generates and makes sure that all the other chakras are like hanging out and doing their thing. The heart chakra, the gut chakra, the pelvic chakra. And when they're all in alignment, we hear about spiritual enlightenment, really getting into ourself and our soul alignment, right? Well, the pineal gland is associated with the third eye. It's kind of one and the same. And actually, there's not a lot of research on the pineal gland and what it actually does. We do know it produces melatonin. It helps activate melatonin, something that helps us sleep. It also has been associated to kind of helping optimize happy pills like serotonin, dopamine, and all that good stuff, you know. And what we have found is we're getting to the point that we can influence the pineal gland. We can influence the third eye. We can activate all this awesome stuff inside of us. It's kind of like, I don't know, nirvana without the drugs or something. We're just really getting to the point that we're optimizing ourselves. That's an amazing thing. And I think about all the stuff that's inside of us. I don't think a lot of us, I'm a total science junkie. I know some of you guys here are too. And if you guys think of it this way, in the brain alone, we have like 20 to 30 billion neuronal connections. That's more connections than the entire universe, just right here. And if you think about your body and what an average human body goes through every day, the actions, the interactions we have, whether it be the food we eat, the thoughts we have, the movement we take, that if you take all of that energy that's going on in the body and you extrapolate it in 1 second, it is enough power to power the entire earth for a week. That is crazy, you guys. Right in our entire body, we have all this power. We have 20 to 30 billion connections up here. We have power in us that's enough to freaking turn the world around for a week. How can we think we're not significant? How can we think we're not loved when we were made to actually do something pretty epic? We have something that we can influence. The pineal gland, the chakras, the deeper part of us that was made from the ground up. We just have to learn how to influence it. And when we focus on that, oh my gosh, do you think we're gonna be afraid? We're gonna think we're pretty damn significant, right? And each of us have that unique genetic blueprint to do that in our own different, unique way. That's pretty awesome. I don't know about you, but I want to go down that rabbit hole. I will take the red pill any day of the week. That's something that sounds fun, and I want you guys to come with me. Think about that. Go there. Don't be afraid to go there. When you are willing to figure out how much you have here and what you can work with, I want to maximize my brain. I want to maximize my body to get what I want. This life is so short, right? That's a big deal. Performance over failure, okay? The pineal power, I love it. I've been activating that a little bit more in the last several weeks, and man alive, I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose, you know, just the things that are coming to me. Third, perception versus perspective, okay? What is perception to you guys? You know, I think of it as it's the first initial thought that we might have about something or an activity or an event. It's something that we think initially. Perspective is our ability to change what it means. Perspective is really our ability to change what it means. That's huge. Let me give you an example. So a few weeks ago, I remember sitting in my apartment and thinking I'm going to have to unplug this event. And I casually texted my mom and I said, Mom, you know what? I think I might have to sell my car to pay off these speakers. And she just kind of course, you guys know what I'm talking about, the mom text, right? She's like, oh my God, don't sell your car. She's just like freaking out. By the way, I love my mother. She's an amazing woman. She's a warrior. And if any of you get a chance to meet her and she graces you with her presence, you'll be a changed woman. She's an amazing woman. But I got that text like, don't do it, oh my God. She was still a mom, right? She wanted to protect me, keep me safe, you know, didn't want me to be in pain. My perspective was more, it's a car, okay? I can buy another one. I see people every day driving cars they can't afford, going to a job they hate to pay off the car, and also the mortgage they can't afford, working hours on end, disconnecting from their family. Then all of a sudden, they're drinking, and they're eating poorly, and they're getting depressed, and then finally they're sitting on their couch alone. But they have their car that's not paid off. Perspective, right? I didn't sell my car, just FYI. Perspective, though. When I sat there and I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna face plant in front of people I respect. I'm gonna lose people. I'm gonna lose their love. Guess what happened? I didn't lose anything. I was performing, I was refining my craft, and each and every speaker, you know what they said? We love you. How can I support you? Perspective. That is a game changer. When you shift it, when you see where you can go with that, there's no place for fear. There's only love there. Do you guys ever play the game, was it rock, paper, scissors, when you were kids? Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, I a rock at that game, and just to let you know, you should never play me because I win every time. So my twin sister, her and I used to play it, and if I wanted something from her, I wanted her to do something for me. But like, let's play rock, paper, scissors. And she's like, I don't want to, I always lose. And I'm like, I know, yes, I love that. Rock, perception. No, this is my fear. I'm not moving from it, I'm scared. This is what I believe. Rock. Perspective. No, honey girl, this is truth. Paper covers rock, right? Perspective is everything. It's a game changer. If you wrap all those up, looking at failure as performance, using the power of the pineal gland, what's in you, like this huge amount of energy, changing perspective, and wrap it up in a nice little bow with passion. We talk about it all the time, right? I know a lot of people in this room that are very passionate. There's a girl right there, okay? We talk about passion is our desire to feed into something that we really, really, really want, right? It's what causes us to take action. Our ability to grab that passion inside us of something we really want. People just resonate with that, right? And all of us get that. We're like, yeah, passion. But I had a friend say to me a couple weeks ago, she's like, Jenny, you're a passionate person. I'm like, yeah, I'm passionate. She's like, do you know what it means? I'm like, well, yeah, I know what it means. Kind of not really. And she said, look at the Latin derivative. It's pati, P-A-T-I, and it means to suffer. It has nothing to do with pleasure, joy, happiness, that you're willing to forego joy and happiness in hours of sleep and whatever it is you have to give up because you see in the future exactly what you want. You're willing to suffer for it. That girl right there, Rachel, I don't even have to ask her if she suffered. I can guarantee you she suffered, okay? She fell down, she suffered, she got back up, fell down, okay? And I can guarantee if I asked her, would you do it again? She'd say, any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Did she get what she wanted? Hell yeah. Proud of you, okay? That's real passion. That's something I'm like, wow, that's awesome. We gravitate toward that, right? It's a beautiful thing. But the cool thing is, passion isn't really about us. You're like, what are you talking about? You just said passion about what you want. When you're passionate about something, you draw in your peeps, right? She's so passionate. Rachel's passionate about something. She drew in the people that believed in her, right? Okay, when you're passionate about something, you draw in your people. You don't need 7 billion people to like you. I think that's how many people are in this world. Anyway, just the ones that believe in you, right? They're like, oh my gosh, I like what she's doing, what he's doing. I'm picking up what he's putting down. I'm so excited. They're actually just excited to see your vision. They don't care if you fail. They'll be like, honey, girl, wow, that was awesome. You face planted. What did you learn on the bottom? Let's go. They're just so excited for you. They don't even get that there's failure in your deck of cards. And who cares about everybody else that doesn't follow your passion, right? Who cares? I had a friend, as a joke, said, well, I think there's instances where you can be passionate and there's joy behind it. And I'm like, well, what instances? And she's like, passionate lovers, love affairs. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Think about this. Wait, hold back, wait, suffer. Yes, right? Come on, you guys. It's Sunday morning, whatever we're talking about it. Passionate love affairs, passionate people are waiting for the right thing to come, right? They're willing to suffer. That's huge. Passion. And think about that. When we get this chance to just perform and refine our craft, when we get this chance to use our pineal gland and everything within us and really, really play with it and see what we can do with it, when we get an opportunity to change perspective, when we wrap it up in passion, doesn't that feel good? I just love that. It makes me feel really loved, loving on myself. That's what real love is, right? I watched a movie once, I forgot what the name of it was, but it was dealing with a couple angels. They were just hanging out. And one of the angels said, you know what? I really envy humans. And the other angel was like, are you kidding me? I mean, we have the life. We have the life. Why would you say that? And the angel said back, because they know real, deep love. Because they have suffered so much. So really, suffering, failure equals bigger love. Suffering, failure equals bigger love. That's huge. That's huge. Another show I watched years ago, Sex and the City. I don't know if any of you guys watched that. It was my favorite show. And I watched it often with my older sister. It was kind of our thing. And we'd have martinis and we'd start watching the show. And we'd talk about the people that we resonated most with on the show. And I loved Sarah Jessica Parker's character, Kara. I loved everything about her and what she exuded and the way she thought and the way she moved. And I remember there was one scene where she was confronting a guy she was dating. And he's like, what do you want? And she's like, I want ridiculous, inconvenient, all-consuming, can't get enough of me love. Boom, say it, girl, right? I'm gonna say, take your guys' phones sometime this week. Turn it back around on you. Can you say that to yourself, Jennifer? I want inconvenient, ridiculous, all-consuming, can't live without me kind of love. That's real love, right? It's spectacular. That's where we want to be. You know, I think about everything that's in us. God wants you to freaking court him, okay? The universe wants you to court it. It's saying, I put a lot of great shizzy in you. It's time to ante up. What do you got? It wants to do a dance with you. It wants to see you in your creative life. I love to dance. I don't know about the rest of you. I love to dance. It wants to see you in the arena, battling, blood, sweat. And it's like, yes, she's failing. She's getting up. Yes, oh my God, I love this. It's just this creative dance. They don't see it as good or bad. God doesn't see it as that. It's just he's seeing you struggle and win and struggle and win. That is beautiful. It's beautiful, right? So if you haven't gotten today yet, what it means to break away from fear, what it means to break away so you can revolutionize to something bigger, I have one more story for you. And this is actually a true story, and it's actually a really special story because it happened several years ago to me, and it was pretty profound, and I've only shared it with my family and really, really close friends, but I feel the need to share it now with all of you. Several years ago, I lived in Virginia Beach, and it was the week of Thanksgiving, and I was coming home from my physical therapy practice. Wednesday night, I had to pick up a few more things for Thanksgiving meal. My mom and my stepdad, whom I like to call Papa, were in town, and of course, Wednesday night, I end up at the grocery store, and it's crazy freaking busy. And of course, any of you that know, going there the night before Thanksgiving is probably not a good situation. There's a lot of crazy people there. But I'm like, okay, I'm going in the store. So I went into the store, and I was just looking for some different things that I needed. And I noticed this guy, older, probably late 70s, early 80s, and I just noticed he seemed to be struggling to find something. And if you know anything about me, I love my old people. I learned so much from them. I just crave their wisdom. I get that a little bit from my dad. He was a pastor in his early life, and he loved and craved older people and just learning from them. And that was something I've always really enjoyed. So I just saw him kind of struggling. So I went up to him like, hey, sir, are you needing some help to find something? He's like, yeah, I can't find the pumpkin sauce. My wife really wants it for the pumpkin pie. And I'm like, oh, it's in the aisle over. I can show you. And he's like, yeah, no, that'd be great. And he just had this really cool smile on his face, like this sparkle in his eyes. And I was like, I just was really connected to him. So I took him around to the other aisle, and it was on the bottom shelf. And I'm like, you want one, two would be great. He just kept smiling at me. I'm like, okay, just smiling. And I just said, is there anything else you need? And he said, no, I'm good. I'm like, great, well, happy Thanksgiving. And I started to turn, and he said, everything's going to be all right. I just smiled. Side note, my stepdad was in the round of several other metastases from his cancer, among other things that I was struggling with, just a darkness in my life at the time. And I remember he said that, and I was like, that was interesting. And I'm like, just smile. And then I began to turn again. And then he said, you are enough. I'm looking around, I'm like, is he talking to me? And I just smiled. And I'm like, just smile. And he just kept having this really magnetic look to him. And I just smiled, and I started turning away. Like I was gonna go to the next aisle, and I stopped, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, why do I feel like he knows me? And this was no more, you guys, by the way, more than 5 seconds, maybe 4. And I turned back around, like, I want to talk to this dude. Gone. No more than 4 or 5 seconds. This dude was not going anywhere fast, okay? He was an older gentleman, not going. And I was like, where did this guy go? I start flying down the aisles. I start looking at the cash registers, looking at the door, and I'm like throwing people out of the way. Women were not happy with me. They had like cranberry sauce in their hands. I'm like, I don't care about your cranberry sauce. I want to find this guy. And I kept looking and looking. I'm like, he's gone. I got into my car, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I think I ran into my guardian angel. Side note, I believe angels are walking around everywhere on this earth. I believe yours is. We're just too busy to notice them. You are enough. What does revolutionize mean? What does it mean to revolutionize your life? It's never over. You're constantly trying to develop more of you, more power of you, more of you. How do you get there? It's not really 3 factors. It's not really the triple X factor, I lied. It's just one. You are enough. You are enough. That's huge. And if you get that, if you really get that, fear bows at your feet. It bows. It has no choice but to bow. You are enough. I am enough. That's revolutionizing. And if all of you get that today, each of you in this room and you out there watching, get it. The power in knowing that with each other. My gosh, magic is happening this week for each and every one of you. I can't wait to get the phone call. Holy crap, Jen. I'm like, yep, boom, magic. That's all it is. You are enough. And truly, all of you are my best. So thank you. Mwah.